Well, today it was some kind of drama after Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan approached the National Assembly with the aim of resuming duties as the senator representing Kogi Central in the National Assembly. Upon our arrival at about noon today, the Kogi Central senator, who rode in a black car, was stopped by security operatives at the gate of the National Assembly. After some minutes, Senator Natasha came down from her vehicle and walked into the National Assembly premises where she was accompanied by her supporters, including activist Aisha Yesufu. She was stopped again at the second gate and asked to turn back. However, the senator and her supporters made their way past the checkpoint only to meet a locked gate. Despite attempts to gain entry, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan and her team of supporters were denied access. The senator has since said she's written to the Inspector General of Police informing him of his planned return to work. Let me allow you to have a feel of some of what happened earlier today.
Open the gate for her.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You close the doors. You don't make yourself prisoner in a house that is meant for people. And the police.
So far, I've not been given any official reason. I've only read on the papers yesterday that I should not resume today because the Senate has appealed. And that is why I presented to you that the Senate has not appealed the judgment. It is Akpabio himself. He is abusing power by willing the entire institutions to fight me. It's a personal vendetta that Akpabio is unleashing on me by hiding under the wings of the institutions, and it is wrong. It is totally wrong because you can't have his own senatorial district deprive the Kogi Central of representation. There is just no reason why this gate should not be open. But by and large, considering the fact that the Senate is vacating tomorrow, whenever they deem it fit to resume, we would resume as well.
That's Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the suspended senator representing Kogi Central in the National Assembly, upon the judgment of court that our suspension is unconstitutional. But tonight our attention is on the role of the National Assembly in the constitutional review process. The National Assembly had come out especially the Senate, to talk about the creation of state. We'll be hearing and getting clarity whether or not we're going to be having more states in the federation. The patriots are also saying that we need an overhaul, a new constitution altogether. But what's the position of the National Assembly? Don't forget also, our eyes are on the Electoral Act reforms, the reforming of the electoral process, and perhaps the amendment of some sections ahead of the 2027 elections. I'm being joined tonight by the Senate spokesperson, Senator Adaramodu is live for us here in our studio. Senator, it's good to have you tonight.
My great brother, good evening.
Good evening.
And then I want to say good evening to fellow Nigerians.
Thank you so much indeed.
Yeah.
Why is your colleague denied access?
Which colleague?
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
The senator on suspension? Look, my brother, Sheung, and I want to tell Nigerians, we have said what we are supposed to say about the issue of Senator Natasha, who's our colleague. And we are not even interested in entertaining any kind of fancy about it anymore. And I just want to reiterate that the Senate, the National Assembly at large, has very, very onerous roles to play and a lot to do. We are legislators, we are lawmakers. We are not spectators to be watching skit making and content creation. So initially I said that all this episode, all this saga just about content creation. And then the content has been created and is now maybe degenerating into season film. We are not interested. We are not actors. We are lawmakers. And we are not interested in all these kind of things.
As the Senate.
And mark you, my brother, even when any litigant goes to court and gets any judgment, either that person feels that this is judgment, this is another, when that is not another. That litigant does not even enforce others by himself or herself. There are court bailiffs who will serve others on those ones that others are supposed to be served on as prescribed by the court. And then why, if those people that others were served on do not take to the others, then those ones can be accused of contempt of court, and then they will be charged to court accordingly. So I hope and I think and I know that Nigerians know that this is another skit making. This is another content. This is just the continuation of the content creation episode of our own colleague. But like I said, we are not interested in joining issues with it.
But let's get
Senate,
clarity.
The Senate has already done what it's supposed to do constitutionally, and which the court upheld that the Senate, according to Section 60 of the Nigerian Constitution, and then the order and the rules book of the Senate. So the Senate has done what it's supposed to do, and then we have already issued statements. And I want Nigerians to know,
Senator,
that we are not even interested,
because we have a lot
of things to do.
We have a lot of
issues. Like you said, we are talking about constitutional amendment. We are talking about electoral reforms. We are talking about so many things.
Senator.
And we have just barely, even less than 2 years to an election, 2027, maybe around February or March 2027. Another election will be coming up. Presidential election,
Senator.
National Assembly, governorship, and then the state houses of assembly. So we have a lot to do. We are not bothered about
has the Senate received the court judgment?
You said?
The High Court judgment. Has the Senate received it?
Yes, we have. We have seen it.
That the suspension of Natasha.
We have seen it.
Illegal and
there was nowhere in the judgment. Anybody who has it can show us where it is written, where it is pronounced that it is illegal, that it is unconstitutional, and that an order was made. The only order that was made in that judgment was the order that our colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, should apologize to the court and pay 5 million naira fine. And she had appealed it. I don't know how somebody will now say he or she is appealing an order and now wants to enforce an opinion.
No, that the portion of the
like I said,
Senator, so that we don't misinform the public.
Let's go to
the portion of the appeal is about the fine that she was given. The fine that came down on her. That was the portion where she appealed on that judgment. But the court has said the suspension of any lawmaker to represent their constituency is unconstitutional. And the court has been very consistent. Go and read the certified.
My brother, go and read the certified true copy of the court, which has never been denounced. That, in my opinion is not an order. And without maybe want to sound so legalistic, we say it is liter obiter. That is opinion, in my opinion. But in the area of the judgment, whereby the senator was supposed to apologize, bring down what she has written on Facebook, and at the same time pay a fine of 5 million naira. That one, the court said, the court orders that. The rest, if there's anywhere that the court said, the court orders, even the other opinions of the court is that Section 60 subsists. The Senate has absolute power to
discipline one of their own.
Yes, discipline one of their own.
If it's according to...
Yes, and that in the opinion of the court and in the belief of the judge, that I believe, and in my opinion, it might be excessive. And I believe the Senate can recall. So these are opinions and beliefs, which are not others. But like I said, I don't want to go to all these explanations anymore. We have said what we should say about it, and then we should not just go back about to it again, because it's going to be a ding dong this thing, because that is what our own colleague wants. So that today Senate will talk.
So why
tomorrow,
are you aware of the appeal by the Senate President?
The only thing I want to,
Senator,
the only warning.
Are you aware?
No. The only warning that I want to give is that there's nothing subsisting between the Senate President and our colleague Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. It's not about the Senate President. It's about the Senate as a whole. Because the rules book were made by the Senate. The Constitution, Section 60, is for the Senate of the National Assembly. It's not for Senator Akpabio. So it is not about Senator Akpabio at all. It's about the Senate. And like I said, please, my brother, let us go to where Nigeria.
If I may quickly put the question,
let us go to
are you
where
aware that
forward.
Senator Akpabio appealed this matter?
Where the appeal. No, let me tell you something. The appeal is not about the recall. It's not about the powers of the Senate to discipline one of its own. It's about jurisdiction. And that's all. And that area has got nothing to do.
So, Senator,
has got nothing to do
as the Senate is
any other. It has got nothing to do with it.
Senator Natasha stands suspended.
Well, as far as the Senate is concerned, we have said that until and when the court rules and gives a definitive order that, look, what you have done is unconstitutional, it's illegal, and anybody can point it to me, can bring it out to me.
Those are the words of the court.
My brother.
Excessive.
Yes. No, unconstitutional is not there.
Excessive.
Unconstitutional is not there.
Did you see the version where...
In my own opinion, opinion of a person is not the holding of a court. It's not judicial.
So I'm asking you, on behalf of the Senate, what is the position of the Senate?
The position of the Senate is, and has been initiated yesterday, 2 days ago, even this morning, that yes, when the order has not come, then the Senate reserves that constitutional right to now sit, consider, and see whether one of them, which is our own sister, our own colleague, revered and respected, because we know that we are human beings, we can err any time, that when the Senate now decides, even before the end of that suspension period, if the Senate sits down and then considers recalling her, but if not, it subsists, the suspension subsists, because
and she will not be allowed entrance or access into the National Assembly.
Our chamber is the only place
that isn't the punishment enough already.
No, our chamber is the only place that is hallowed. Anybody can get to anywhere in the National Assembly. Is a public place. We are not bothered, and we don't know. And the only thing there is that if you are Shehu, you are coming to the National Assembly with a multitude of a mob multitude. There's no way. Carrying placards, carrying flags, chanting war songs, there's no way. The security in the National Assembly will allow you in. So you as Shehu, who is not even a senator, as a journalist, if you want to try it, go there tomorrow, rent a crowd, tell a mob to start chanting war songs, clapping for you, carrying placards, raining expletives, and showing all those things unspeakable and unthinkable, and then there's no way. The security, the sergeant at arms, we allow you to come in. The only place where the senators own strictly is the chamber, which is the hallowed chamber. And we never allow anything that smokes like illegality to enter the
Senator. Let's move to other issue.
And like I told you, I said, we are not interested in maybe watching all this kind of content creation episode anymore. So that's why we have spoken, Senator, and Senate has spoken.
Senator, so let's move on to some other issue. On the constitution amendment process, yes. Clarify for us, because I know this matter came up on the floor today. Is the Senate or accepting or reviewing or entertaining requests for creation of states? Is it part of some of the proposition in the constitution amendment process?
All propositions made by groups and individuals. Either the groups come as a form of a state, even conurbated commodities, the Senate and the House of Representatives will consider them. Lawmaking is not as simple as the way we look at it. When all proposals and propositions come, we put them on the table, we aggregate them. We have already informed the committees and then senators go to their districts, not only districts, even geopolitical zones, to go and hold public hearings and collect proposals and propositions from our people. When we put all those things on the table, we are still going to have a public hearing head and to be spearheaded by the committee in charge of it, because we have a committee in charge of constitutional review, which is headed, especially the Senate, by the Senate Deputy Senate President. Then after that, it is what will come out from that will form a report to the Senate to consider. The same will form a report to the House of Representatives to consider. And then the two chambers will now meet and now have a kind of, after that joint meeting, they will have a kind of agreement and arrangement. It is that we put back to the senators and to the representatives to consider. So it is not possible for the Senate or the House of Representatives to determine from the onset that these are how many states.
But there was a position. There was a position of the Senate today.
And again, we still need to go back to the states, whereby 2/3 of the number of states in Nigeria, that means about 24, not less than 24, must say yes to a kind of proposal or proposition or anything submitted before it can become law in the Constitution. So it is not prerogative of the Senate or that of the House of Representatives to just sit down and say that we are creating 12 states, we are creating 20 states, or we are creating 10 states. So it is not.
But are those proposals on the table?
We have not seen them, because the committee has not come to the Senate to bring the aggregated proposals. So just about 2 or 3 days ago.
Tell us about the agenda. Tell us about the agenda of the National Assembly, because there are a lot of
our agenda.
Just a moment about the constitutional review, because there are those who will say there should be priorities as far as the problems or the crisis in the country.
Yes, we have priorities.
Are you focusing on those priorities?
Yes, we have priorities.
With a view of resolving them?
Yes, we have priorities from the National Assembly. Because if you look at the proposals that are being brought up today, there are some that emanated from the National Assembly. One, the gender matter, women participation in governance. That one came from even the Deputy Speaker.
The reserve seats.
Yes, from the House of Representatives, whatever we call it. We are talking about gender inclusiveness in it. So whatever way we do it, after all the public hearings and after everything, after the judge joining and after going through the crucibles of lawmaking, whatever we call it, that one is a priority. Another priority is the state police, which we think that is going to assist the security apparatus of Nigeria to make sure that, because even when we are talking about politics is local, economic matters are local, then definitely security too is very local. So we think that we should just break down the security architecture of Nigeria down to the grassroots, whereby we can have our own local approaches as it is going to be brought by the states, and then we are getting even feelers from
is electoral reform part of your priority?
No, I'm still going on.
Is electoral reform part of it?
Seriously.
There are a lot of Nigerians who are worried about the appointment of those who head INEC. Yes. Are you thinking of taking that power away from the president?
It is not our thinking. It is going to be the thinking of the generality of Nigerians.
That's what a lot of people feel that.
in the media, we can say that maybe those people that we have brought to come and speak are saying that one. But by the time we now hold a very serious and strict public hearing, whereby all the critical stakeholders, the CSOs, all the sectors will now be brought together. And then whatever they say, we agree. It's going to be done openly. It's not going to be done in secrecy. So if the aggregated opinions of Nigerians is that, okay, we just have to maybe relieve either the president or whoever from maybe appointing electoral officers who are going to manage.
What are you and your colleagues thinking? Because we're talking about electoral reforms.
Our thinking does not matter.
Because at the end of the day,
our thinking does not matter.
Yeah.
They are representatives of the people.
Yeah, but
so we must not think for them. They should think for us.
You should be thinking
about
what your people are thinking.
Must think for us. Not that we will think
some
for
of the Nigerian people that we have spoken
you have
to.
said some of them.
And this has been
a long...
with. Just a moment,
now,
Senator.
Since we are going to have...
We have these conversations every day. And there is the opinion of a lot of people that
since we are going
appointment of those who head INEC should be made objective and far away from political influence.
By the time we now open up the public hearing, let everybody who has any opinion, even tallied with what you are saying, let them come. So once we do that one, it is not the way in the open. Then we, as legislators, we don't think for our constituents. Our constituents must think for us because they send us. They are the ones who will say, this is what we want. And if that is what they want, then definitely we are going to kowtow to them.
Yes,
so it's not for them to kowtow to us. So that's why I would say, erroneously, some people believe that the National Assembly will just sit down and just make laws. No, we don't just make laws, especially Constitution. And then we would not want the situation whereby every year we need to change the Constitution. We need to amend the Constitution.
Are we hopeful
we are not panel-beaters.
Are we hopeful?
We are not panel-beaters.
Are we hopeful?
We want a very
of an electoral reforms to the extent of electronic transmission of results.
Let's get there. Let me challenge you and your colleagues. The electoral body,
Senator.
The electoral body, which
Senator.
is INEC, the electoral body, which is INEC, must even have a say. They must tell us if they have problems. They want to do electronic transmission. They must tell us what are their inhibitions. They must tell us if they want to do, if we have to do it, that we don't want to make sure, we don't want to do something and say that, okay, there must be electronic transmission. And then on the day of the election, and then we are now having excuses that, oh, there's network failure. Oh, there's this, there's that. We don't want that.
Did you hear what
we don't want that? Because
saying?
when you are making laws, you make laws not because of emotions. You make laws based on what is obtainable and could be obtained.
Senator.
And then those people that are even going to exercise all those things. Because even when you talk of INEC, it is not all the officials of INEC are going to be appointed by either the executive. When you talk of EOs, AEOs, then other officers in INEC, are they not civil servants?
Senator, let me take you quickly to the...
Are they employed or are they appointed by the executive? No, it's only the chairman or the rec that we say that are even appointed by the executive. And the rec of a state cannot even make an election free and fair alone. He has directors, assistant directors, every directors, EOs, AEOs, and so on and so forth. Below him, that are going to conduct elections.
Senator.
So now, when we, like I said, we should not do laws because of emotions. We should not criticize based on emotions. Because the chairman of INEC, who is in Abuja, is not going to be in the Ekiti State on the day of election. It's not going to be the person who is going to come to my local government in the Southwest to come and conduct election. It's not going to be the one who is going to be the poll clerk on the day. It's not going to be the returning officer, and it's not going to even be the person who will be the rank officer.
Senator,
in my local government and in my wards. So definitely, election entails a lot,
Senator,
and then brings a lot of human effort and human hand into it.
I like
so that's why I said invariably that Nigerians should
I want
take
us
away
to anchor.
emotions from.
I want us to anchor
Okay.
on the point of the patriots. You
Yeah.
saw those eminent Nigerians when they gather in Abuja, and they're asking that there needs to be an overhaul.
Yeah.
What is the position of the Senate on this?
The position of the Senate is that when we get to that stage, whereby there's going to be public hearing, the patriots, eminent Nigerians, fine Nigerians who are good, who are there, we can even say they are our heritage. They are the ones who have seen it all in Nigeria. We cannot just discard them. We cannot denounce them. We cannot throw them away. We cannot wave them just off like that. Now, when we are, especially as government, as a National Assembly, which were put in place by the votes of the people. They are the conscience of the people. Whatever anybody thinks. Now, let them come to the public hearing. Make all these proposals and propositions and open all those things, let them bear. Because where we are in Nigeria now, it's not only the elderly that can now tell us what is good for Nigeria anymore. The youth will tell us, the women will tell us, the people living with disabilities will tell us, even the politicians will tell us, even those ones that hate politics, they will tell us. Even Nigerians in diaspora, they will talk. So now let us put everything together. Because if the patriots, if they are saying that, and the youths are saying something else, and then the politicians are saying something else, and then the technocrats are saying something else, and then Nigerians in the diaspora are saying something else, then we become a house of Babel. So for us, not to become a house of Babel, that's why the National Assembly is going to put together a very eminently very conducive and inviting and challenging public hearing, whereby our leaders, our fathers and our mothers can come, and our seniors can come and say, okay, our national ancestors, the purveyors of those people that made Nigeria as Nigeria as it is today, then they come, then they present. Then all of us will look at this.
All right,
then
Senator.
we consider it.
All right.
And then we take a position together.
Senator.
So that's how a constitution is made. But for us to just listen and now say, oh, the constitution, we should just discard everything, and then we should do this, we should do that. While some people are talking about Republican system, some people are talking about parliamentary system, some people are talking about presidential system. So definitely there is no system that you won't have
Senator
people that are for and those people that are against.
Senate spokesperson.
Yes.
Many thanks. It's always a pleasure having you speak on behalf of the Senate.
Is that all?
That's all tonight. Senator Adaramodu, Senate spokesperson. Always a pleasure spending these 40 minutes with us. Thank you so much indeed.